Hey guys. Alright, so in our video today we are taking cylinders, cones, and spheres, and instead of figuring out the volume, we know the volume. So we're just going to be subbing in and working backwards through the equations to find the volumes. Okay, so our first problem is a cylinder. So we start off by writing the formula for cylinder. Volume equals pi r squared h. Okay? Then it says the volume is 250 centimeters cubed. So we're going to put 250 in the place of V. Pi times, okay, and then it says the radius is 6. So we're going to put 6 in place of r, but we don't know h. So we're solving for h. Okay? So in order to solve for h, we're going to divide both sides by all the numbers. See, the idea is to find h, we're going to work backwards through the problem. So if normally this is a formula where we multiply, working backwards means we're going to divide, and we're going to divide by everything that's a number. Okay, remember pi doesn't look like a number, but it technically is a number. So we're going to divide pi and 6 squared on both sides, and that gets me h by itself. Now, when you type this into the calculator, and you have to because you have a pi button, okay? If you don't have a pi button at home, then you're going to use 3.1416, but only if you don't have a pi button. The calculator is not going to know when you hit the divide key that you're dividing by pi and 6 squared. So you have to put parentheses in the calculator or it will not give you the correct answer. So make sure you are using parentheses. And these are all, your homework ones are actually going to come out nice. They were designed with ugly numbers for volumes so that you get nice numbers for answers. Okay, so we've got 2.2 for our height when I divide all that out. Okay, the next problem is a little bit different. It says that the height is 8 inches. Okay, still a cylinder. We're still doing volume equals pi r squared h. Okay, it says the height is 8 and the volume is 200. So this time we don't know r. So we're going to divide both sides, again, by the numbers, pi and 8. But I'm bringing down r squared. I'm going to move that up a little bit. Again, draw the parentheses on here as a visual reminder that you have to type them. I rounded this one to the nearest hundredth because the next thing I'm going to have to do, see, this isn't the full-on answer yet. Do you see how I still have a squared here? The idea is to find radius. So far, all I know is radius squared. So yesterday in class, we did square roots on the calculator. We practiced calculator work. I need to take the square root of both sides. You have to physically draw that. And then on your calculator, it's second and the x squared key, and it makes the root symbol. And I'll type in 7.96, and I get 2.8. Okay, so those are cylinders. There's another example, but if you are still uncertain, instead of looking at a third example, just rewatch these two. Okay, the next part is cones, excuse me. So the volume of a cone, volume equals, the formula for this is 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, sub in. The volume is 500. The radius is 12. And I'm finding height. So again, we're going to divide both sides by all the numbers. So that we can bring h down. Again, remember to put parentheses around this before you start typing in the calculator. 500 divided by parenthesis. Now there's a fraction, 1/3. 1 ABC 3 times pi times 12 squared. Close parenthesis. Okay, h does not have an exponent, so that's my full-on answer, and I'm done. This problem, volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. This time the radius, you know what, this is not the problem I want to do. Hold on a second, I want to actually do the third one. Let's come over to this one. There's a reason for that. Okay, it says the volume is 25 and the height is 5. So that means I don't know the radius. Okay, still same procedure. Divide both sides by 1/3 pi and 5. All the things that are numbers. Use your parentheses. And you're bringing down r squared. Typing in 25 divided by parenthesis 1 ABC 3 times pi times 5. Close parenthesis. And I get 4.8. But I'm not done with this problem. Okay, it's not like this one over here where I ended up with h. H is just a variable by itself. Okay, r has a squared, so we have an extra step. We have to square root our number that we get after the division. So second x squared key for the square root, and we get 4.8. .2. Okay, all spheres are done the same. So we did 3 examples in class. I'm just going to do one on here. Okay, all spheres are the same because you're always going to be solving for r. There's no h in the sphere formula. So the volume of a sphere is v equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So if I tell you that the volume is 350, the only other variable in here is r. So I'm finding radius. Okay, same deal. I'm going to divide both sides by all the things that are numbers. I'm going to make sure I put this in parentheses. R cubed comes down. Okay, parenthesis, 350 divided by parenthesis 4, ABC 3 times pi, close parenthesis, 83.6. Now, notice there's an exponent of 3, so we don't have r yet. This is, again, what we learned yesterday. It's not square root this time, it's cube root. Cube root, remember, looks like the root symbol with a little 3 here. Okay? The root symbol with a little 3. To do cube root on our school calculators, it's second Wait, now I'm gonna, yes. No. Sorry. I got to start with the 3. You're teaching the calculator that the root you're doing is a cube root instead of a square root. So you got to type the number 3 first, then the second key, then the caret key, which is that up arrow. Now, what your calculator should look like when you type this in correctly is 3x root. If you do not see 3x root, stop and start over because you've done something wrong. Okay, if you see 3 root in parenthesis, that's wrong. If you see ANS x root, that's wrong. Okay, those are the common mistakes kids make. They don't remember to type the 3, or they type the square root instead of the x root. We need the x root. But if we do this correctly, we get 4.4 for our R. Okay, now on your homework is actually designed so that the ugly decimal is something you start with, and then you actually end up with kind of a nice answer that you don't have to round. So the very first section is cylinders, volume equals pi r squared h. Yes, you still have to write the formula for every single problem. Why? Because many of you still don't have your formulas memorized, and you still need to be practicing them. Okay? Even if you got a 100 on your quiz today, which is only a few people, you need to be practicing your formulas because you have a test. I've moved the test to Monday. You need to have memorized your formulas. Okay, so this volume is not a pretty number, okay? Now, for those of you watching the video, you're going to get this little shortcut. If you want, you can type 804.24 ... instead of typing out that whole, or instead of writing out that whole decimal, equals pi times r is 8 squared times h. So I don't have a picture to look at, but I have the letters telling me what the numbers are. Okay? Dividing both sides by pi times 8 squared, pi times 8 squared. Now, the shortcut is only the writing part. I still have to type in that whole monstrosity. 804.2477193, and double check it before you move forward. Make sure you don't have any typos. Divided by, don't forget parentheses. If you don't type the parentheses, your answer will come out wrong. Pi times 8 squared, close your parenthesis. And by using an ugly decimal and having to type that in, I do get a nice answer. Okay? Many of your answers are going to be nice instead of ugly decimals that you have to round. Okay? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.